Alright, welcome to my newest playthrough. The game I'm playing through is a game that is a monster hunting style game. So if you've seen my Monster Hunter videos, the few ones I post up, the God Eater videos, which I will continue. I just wanna kind of get rhythm going on. So this is called Toukiden 2 to be specific. This is a sequel to Toukiden Kiwami. And Toukiden Kiwami is the first Toukiden game, along with an expansion specifically for that game. And the general story of the game is that the world is plagued by monsters called Oni. Oni are powerful creatures, powerful monsters that have many abilities. One primary ability they have is that they can alter time and space. People don't know how they do it. They don't know much about where they came from. But they threaten humanity, and their appearances are based around mythological demons from like Japanese lore. Most of them. Some are more creative. But the big thing with so a lot of people would if you play Geiger, you would consider them similar to Origami in that they can devour anything, and they disrupt the very fabric of reality by doing so. But unlike Origami, who are mostly bloodthirsty, vicious monsters with very few having intelligence, most Oni don't have intelligence, but there are higher ranking Oni that do, and these Oni are very distinct. So let's get into this. So we're gonna create a character. Let's go with this thing. You can change your gender. You can change your appearance. Don't ask why the girls have white and the guys have like red and brown. Don't ask me. I don't know. You can change the hair. Now, don't be fooled by the many hairstyles. A lot of these styles are very repeating off each other. Let's go with this hairstyle. This for color. Actually, that's a pretty good color. You can alter the face, but this is like so for those that don't know, this is made by Koei. And if you play like Koei Empire games like Samurai Warriors Empires and Dynasty Warriors Empires, they have a very basic character editing system. And this character editing system is directly taken from the Empire series. This is literally like if you were to play Empires, like Samurai Warriors 4 Empires or Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, you would find this is the exact same editing system. It is the exact same. And because it's exactly the same, I don't really bother with changing anything, because this is one of the few games where I'm going to be having character wear a helmet. Now, in most of these Monster Hunter type games, I don't really like the helmets, because I really just think it detracts, especially like in Monster Hunter World, it detracts from the customization I put into a character. But this is one game where I'm willing to say, no, I don't care about the customization that much. I mean, my main character, you'll see, I'll show the main character afterward. You'll see they had quite a bit of customization done. But for the most part, they did this. I don't really intend to really go into it. See? So it's like... Okay, let's go with that. Okay, so there are 10 weapons in this game. These Okay, so these were in the original Toukiden. These three were introduced into Kiwami, and then these two are for this game. Each weapon has different attack elements. There's slash, thrust, and crush. So slash is mostly for weapons that cut, like a sword. Thrust is for weapons that can be thrust forward, like a spear. And crush is for weapons that are like solid brute force weapons, like gauntlets. Each weapon, like Monster Hunter, has their own different moves, different special moves, different skills, and different attack pattern and speed. So sword is like medium. It's got good attack, good speed, good range, good damage. It doesn't excel, and it doesn't have any real weaknesses. Um, the knives are more faster, but the big weakness with them is range. But one of their biggest advantages is this: they can run while moving, and it's a special technique limited to only them. The spear um, can strike Oni from a distance, and it can also strike hard to reach spots, or spots that normally only like long range weapons can reach. But the biggest problem with the spear is it's very slow, and it's very, how do I say, very one trick pony-ish. There's not much you can really do with the spear. The gauntlets are easily my most favorite weapon in the entire game. I could play this game for hours on end. I could play all the weapons. I could spend my time learning how to play each weapon competently, but at the end of the day, I'm always going to go back to gauntlets. I just love them. They are, for me, the best weapon in the game. And I'll show you why in a bit, because they have the most interesting moveset in the game. They're also one of the few weapons that can guard. As you can see, yeah, that's the guard. They're one of the few weapons that can do that. The chain and sickle is, in my opinion, the second most complicated weapon in the game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I see where it's good, but I just can't bring myself to use it proficiently. It's too complicated for me. The bow is also another rather complicated weapon. It's the third most complicated weapon in the game. It's got good long range damage, but the biggest weakness with the bow is that you gotta be standing still. You can't move while you're shooting the bow, which is one of its biggest weakness. The club is easily the most complicated weapon in the game. Now you might be thinking, how is a club complicated? The big problem with the club is that it does the most damage when you hit it from the very tip. So you see the very tip of the weapon. If you hit with the very tip of the weapon, you do more damage than you normally do. Maybe going, hitting the very tip. How is that hard? Because it counts the very end of the weapon as the tip. It's not the upper part of the weapon. It's not the middle part of the weapon. It's not even the lower part of the weapon. It's the very, very end of it is the tip. Now, that being said, if you manage to hit with the tip, you can do massive amounts of damage easily. Let me get to the Naginata. This is like a bigger sword. It's got good range, it's got good speed, it also has moves that allows you to launch yourself into the air so you can attack enemies. It also has a parry. It's a very good weapon, but its special move leaves you very, very at a huge disadvantage. The rifle is like the bow gun in Monster Hunter in that it has selective. Each rifle has specific ammo. Some rifles do share the same ammo, but for the most part, they all have their own unique set of ammo. Now, I guess because of that, in Toukiden Kiwami, it was really abused. Certain rifles were like considered top tier, so they kind of mixed up how the ammo types. Because that's the big thing, is that the rifle has different types of ammo, and it's only limited to those. You only have 3 ammos to use, and you're limited to that ammo for the whole hunt if you use this rifle. This rifle cannot have any more than those 3. And as you can see, he does that special stance. And when he does that special attacks, you're gonna fire a bigger shot than normal. And you have a grenade that allows you to do special effects that either make monsters more vulnerable or causes special effects to happen. This is a new weapon to this. Now, this is one weapon that has a rare case in that has all 3 attack types. The big thing about this weapon is its block, and the fact that it's sword and shield. The shield actually has a blade hidden in it, and you build up a gauge. Once you build up the gauge, you can pull out the shield, the blade shield, and you can do a lot of damage really easily. You gain a lot of mobility, you gain a lot of attack, you just can go ham on the enemy with this weapon. The chain weapon is a very curious weapon in that it allows you to attack at range, but its main drawback is that compared to the other weapons, its power is kind of low. But that's because of the fact of how unique it is. It allows you to attack multiple times at once. And its special move is really an example of this. So, also the biggest thing about this weapon is that you can jump without needing to use the demon hand. I'll explain the demon hand in a bit. I'll explain the demon hand once I actually get to that point. So for now, I'm going to choose the gauntlets because, again, that's my favorite weapon, and you'll see why it's my favorite weapon. Probably not this bit. I'm only going to be recording until about, let's say 45 minutes, and I'm going to stop. So you can adjust graphics, display, everything. So I know there's an option to turn off helmets in this, I think. I forgot where it is. But server restrictions. Alright, here we go. So yeah, this is my main account. This is the account I've done the most amount. I've gotten all the Mitama, which I'll explain later. I've gotten most of the weapons. I've gotten a lot of the special weapons. There's more I can do, but for now, I'm going to be playing through the story. Once I play through the story, I'm going to go into. I'll show the Mitama. Unfortunately, if you want to see me do Mitama, you're gonna have to watch. I'm gonna have to do a new playthrough. So I'll do that later, though. For now, let's just start the story.
その夜、世界は暗闇に閉ざされた。
来たぞ、左舷。撃て、撃て。
戦域にいる全ての者の符に通達する。これよりこの地に第一次防衛線を築く。港に侵攻する全ての敵を排除し、鬼の存在は世に知れた。もはや我らが身を隠す理由はない。人目を気にせず鬼を撃て。
了解。
特務隊に通達。現時刻をもって横浜防衛作戦を発動する。市外の鬼を排除し防衛線を押し上げろ。人の世は滅びの淵にある。救えるのはお前たち者の符だけだ。無駄死には許さん。一匹でも多く鬼を撃て。
本部より特務隊千里眼による索敵を開始。街路に多数の餓鬼を確認。殲滅し進路を確保せよ。鬼の死骸は正気の苗床になる。捨ておくな。鬼払いで片付けろ。餓鬼の殲滅を確認。いいぞ、そのまま港まで制圧せよ。
化け物。あんたら一体。あの化け物は誰でもいい。助けてくれ。
外様の兵士か。今は助けられない。相手にするな。進行方向に新手の出現を認む。ガキとも違って手強い。警戒せよ。玉振りの使用を推奨。御霊の力を借りて鬼を撃て。V 破壊しなければ致命傷は与えられない。一点に集中攻撃して V 破壊せよ。
見事な戦果だ。
敵の撃破を確認。見事だ。
全隊員に緊急通達。象の鼻付近に強大な鬼が出現した。対象を神羅号と呼称する。総力を挙げてこれを排除しろ。
聞いたな。象の鼻に急行せよ。
Hey, sorry about that. I was eating. So, we get introduced to the organization that's been hunting the Oni. Slayers. They, like the video said, they were mostly in secret. Nobody knew they existed because nobody knew that Oni existed. But this day, for some reason, Oni just started appearing all over the world en masse. And so, because of that, this happened. The Slayers could now go out. Now, here's the biggest change from Monster Hunter is that with the Eye of Truth, you're able to see the Oni's breakable parts. But there's more to it. You can see that how the symbol where my weapon is now glowing? When that glows, you can use the Destroyer. What the Destroyer will do is, it will instantly destroy a monster's body part. Instantly. You don't have to go through the hassle of like breaking the part down, and then once it's broken off, you can like because normally like in Monster Hunter, you have to like keep attacking the part until eventually it falls off. And unlike Monster Hunter, in which certain body parts can't be broken unless it's with a specific weapon, in this it doesn't matter. No matter what the part is, it could be destroyed regardless of whatever weapon you use. Yeah, if you use a thrust weapon, it'll break it. If you use a crush weapon, it'll break it. If you use a slash weapon, it'll break it. It doesn't matter. That's the biggest change between this and Monster Hunter. It's, in my opinion, one of the better changes. Because in Monster Hunter, you can't cut off a tail unless you have like a sword type weapon. Or breaking like the Ragon's chin is easier with a blunt weapon like a hammer or a hunting horn. In this game, it doesn't matter. Now, those who have played Toukiden Kiwami will recognize this character. A lot of people will recognize that this character is an ass. He's a very the ends justify the means type of character. Also, both games, all three Toukiden games, are completely Japanese in voice acting. There is no English voice acting whatsoever. So I was talking about earlier how certain Oni are intelligent. The Brute Beast counts as a very intelligent Oni.
あ、なんだこいつ。おい博士、妙なやつが倒れてるぜ。
帰るぞ。そいつはお前がおぶってやれ。
俺かよ。たく面倒ごとばっか押し付けやがって。
So, here we are. We're in an unknown location. We got a little house. So this armor is only acquired if you have Toukiden Kiwami save data. And that's why I got it. The armor itself is just based on characters in the game, but I'll go into that later. For now, yep.
おや、あなた様は。失礼。あまりお見かけしないお方でしたので。本日はどちらから？横浜？随分と遠い地でございます。ここはまほろばの里。横浜から遠い西の果て。長い長い旅をして来られたとお見受けします。見ての通り、ここは茶屋。旅の疲れを癒していかれると良いでしょう。私はクオン。この地で御霊の巫女を務めています。どうぞお見知りおきください。
よう、目覚めたか。体の調子はどうだ。しがない研究助手ってとこだ。森に倒れてたのを俺様が運んでやったんだ。感謝しろよ。お前、名前は？俺は時継だ。よろしくな。博士がお前に用があるらしい。後で会いに行ってみな。
So much like most Monster Hunter games, you play the silent protagonist.
丘の上のへんてこな建物に住んでるやつだ。あれでも医者でな。お前を解放した。取って食われねえように気をつけろよ。
So, if I was to describe this game, like I said, it's a Monster Hunter game, but there are a few major players in that category. The first major player is, of course, Monster Hunter itself. The second major player is God Eater. And then, I wouldn't call this the third major player, but it's unique enough that I could call it that. I know there are other games with Monster Hunter like styles, but I'm only counting Monster Hunter and God Eater for now. So if I was to explain this game, I would say in sense of storytelling, it's very similar to Monster Hunter. No. Its story is more like God Eater in that it's very post-apocalyptic, but in this case, the apocalypse takes place in Japan era primarily. And one of the things I mentioned is that Oni mess with time, and you'll be seeing how exactly they mess with time in this game. And you'll see it in a bit. For now, we're just gonna go talk to the lady. Well, lady, girl, professor, whatever. So.
誰だ？私の研究所に勝手に入るな。お前は？時継ぐに聞いてきたか。また余計なことを言っていないといいが。
So you might notice she looks very young and she's very small. She's very bossy.
動き回れるようなら心配はないな。私は博士。お前の名は？知らん名だな。やはり里のものではないな。お前は里の近くの森に倒れていた。何か覚えているか？横浜？一体何の話だ？何か事情がありそうだな。詳しく話してみろ。
So, we explain ourselves.
横浜で鬼と戦っていたはずが、気づいたらここにいたか。不可思議な話だな。他に覚えていることは？記憶がないのか。厄介だな。ここはまほろばの里。横浜からはるか西、出雲の国近くにある。直線距離で150里近い。やすやすと移動できる距離じゃない。それ以前に、横浜は10年前に放棄された。もうあそこに人など住まない。
10 years ago.
10年前の大曲時の戦だ。鬼に食い破られ、異界に沈んだ。
So, here we go. We traveled 10 years into the future. Now you might be asking, what exactly is the other world? The other world is essentially a dimension that the Oni exist in, and that they take parts of Earth and put into. This is the big thing about them displacing time, because they just take locations and just pull them out of existence.
もしお前が横浜で戦っていたとすれば、
そいつの身元は分かったか？よう、また会ったな。どうした？二人ともしけた面してんな。
どこぞのバカと違って悩み事が多くてな。
なんだよ、ずいぶん機嫌悪いじゃねえか。
いや、むしろ逆だ。興味深い話を聞いていたところだ。研究に値するかもしれん。
どういうことだ？
鬼の襲撃を知らせる警鐘だ。里の周辺は鬼の住む異界だからな。
So this other world is where you see all of the time, all of the places that the Oni took from time and just mashed together.
心配するな。結界がある以上、簡単には侵入できない。待て、どこへ行くつもりだ？そうか。お前は物の符だったな。鬼と戦うつもりか？心意気は買うが、丸腰で行くのはよせ。悪いがお前の装備品は処分した。ボロボロだったんでな。
So yeah, believe it or not, the gear you have in the beginning of the game is easily among the best gear in this game. This is one of the few times in a Monster Hunter style game where actually the gear you start up with happens to be one of the best gears in the game.
代わりに新しい武器をやろう。私が開発した鬼の手と一緒にな。
Okay, So the demon hand, a lot of people compare it to the clutch claw, but I assure you, this thing is nothing. Nothing like the clutch claw in any sense.
鬼の手なんだそりゃ。
さっき完成した新型からくりだ。二人とも手を出せ。装着してやる。まだ実験段階だが、何？天才である私が作ったのだから問題はない。
So yeah, as you can see, this professor thinks very highly of herself.
おいおい、嫌な予感しかしねえぞ。
あまり動くな。手元が狂う。
本当に戦う気か？さっきまで倒れてたんだ。無茶はすんなよ。
So as far as I know, in this game,
これでいいだろう。
Slayers can be anybody, unlike Monster Hunter, in which only certain people have the aptitude to be a Monster Hunter. Because it's like, a friend of mine told me that, like, in Monster Hunter, only certain people have, like, a special gene that allows them to become Monster Hunter. I don't know if that's true or not. Again, Monster Hunter lore is kind of hard to find.
よし、よく似合ってるな。使い方は実地で教える。私の指示に従って使いこなせ。と言っても初の実証試験だ。
お前、どさくさに紛れて俺たちを実験台にするつもりだな。
面白い冗談だな、時次。
ふざけんな。こんなもん無理やり外して。
言っておくが、無理に外そうとするなよ。爆発するぞ。
そんなもん人の手につけんじゃね
え。いいから黙って私についてこい。
I'll admit the whole mad scientist, unwilling subject dynamic is very funny.
行くぞ。鬼を撃つ。
Alrighty.
危ないから来るな。そういえば言っていなかったな。私たちももののふ。鬼を撃つ鬼だ。行くぞ。鬼を撃つ。
Okay. So you saw a little barrier. I'll explain that after this battle.
邪魔だな。さっさと失せろ。二人とも用意はいいな。鬼の手の実証実験を始める。左手に意識を集中しろ。人の思念に呼応して
So as you see, both of them have guns.
鬼の手の力だ。 巨大な手を頭に思い浮かべろ。それを現実の世界に実体化させるんだ。
無茶言うな。
ほう、いいぞ。あっさり具現化の壁を越えたな。その手を使って鬼を倒せ。手始めにガキを平らげるぞ。
So you may notice sometimes when I'm punching and I'm hitting an enemy, it emits a bright flash. This is because the gauntlet has a unique mechanic where if you hit the attack button the exact time your attack hits, it will do more damage, but it'll also automatically cross over into the next attack. And if you do this well, you can attack endlessly. Normally you can only punch 1, 2, 3, 4, but if you're able to chain to get the critical hits, you can keep attacking as long as you keep getting critical hits. Now these critical hits have nothing to do with the critical system in this game.
次、親玉が来るぞ。
めんどくせえのが来たな。
So
博士、助立ちします。
紅月か。最高の助っ人だ。
すまんな、紅月。だが、いらん世話かもしれんぞ。鬼の手の力は証明された。比嘉の戦力差は圧倒的だ。
鬼の
その目で確か
So in this game specifically, there are originally there were only two types of enemies, small and large enemies. In Toukiden 2, they introduced medium oni, which are like kind of like mid
そ
bosses.
こを狙えば本体に直接打撃を与えられる
Now, medium oni are like they're not strong as large, but they're not as weak as small.
それが
Now you see why. You saw one reason why I like the
今の戦いに集
gauntlets.
中しなくては
This. You know, you're like, dude, that's. Trust me. When you get a certain Mitama, a certain pair of Mitama in the game, this goes at JoJo level speeds. There we go.
皆様お見事です
There we go.
終了二人とも
So one thing that
実験成功だ
Oni do is they consume Mitama,
清美は俺が撃つ
and what Mitama are, they are the souls of famous warriors from history.
素晴らしい成果だやはり私は天才だなどうだ二人とも鬼の手は優れものだろ
Almost done recording.
びっくり人間にでもなった気分だぜ。どうなってんだこの装置は。
原理はお前の体と同じだ人の魂思念を具現化して力に変えるもっともその力の根源が何なのかは私にもまだ解明できていないが
よくはわかりませんが博士の研究の成果ということですね
そういうことだそれよりお前新たな御霊を宿したなどういうわけだ普通御霊は一つしか宿せないはずだが御霊の記憶もないのかモノノフの力の源英雄の魂だ鬼に食われた英雄の魂御霊を奪還するのも私の目的の一つだ後でお前の体を調べさせろ御霊を複数宿せる理屈が知りたい
Now this is something that was also carried over from the first Toukiden, but you're capable.
バラバラにしたりはせんさ
Yeah, so normally a person can only have one Mitama, but your character is unique in that you can have more than one.
ようやくこのへのお出ましか。
There is a maximum number of Mitama to have, and that maximum number is 250. Yes, there are 250 souls in the game. And we'll go into why that's important
博士
in a bit.
ご協力感謝します。
実験のついでにやっただけのことだどうやら本格的な襲撃ではなかったらしい
Actually, we might go into that in the next video, because we're almost at time limit. So,
念のため
I know there is no time limit on the videos. I know there's no time limit on videos for YouTube, but I just want to make it 45 minutes, okay? Because I'm pretty sure you don't want to be bored to death with my voice and the gameplay. So, anyways, we're almost done.
承知しています。あとは我々にお任せください。こちらのお方はあまりお見かけしませんが、外まさか戸様では。
私の助手だ東の里から手伝いに来た
そうでしたか。それは縁のご苦労様です。では我々は任務がありますので、紅月様もお体に気をつけて。
ありがとう
周囲を調べろ。まだ鬼が残っているかもしれんぞ。
私もそろそろ行きます
You'll see why it's a big deal that we're considered an outsider, because this village has a very strange system in it.
博士私の協力が必要であればいつでも呼んでください
あいつもすまんな
最後にあなたの名を伺ってもよいですか覚えておきます私は紅月この里でモノノフをしていますではまた会いましょう
さすが紅好き。誰かさんと違って優しいぜ。
うるさいぞ。鬼は撃った。研究所に戻るぞ。何をしてる？早く来い。さっきの話の続きを聞きたい。軍師供養。それがお前のいた隊の指揮官か。
血濡れの鬼か。有名人だな。配下に精鋭を揃えてたって話だが、今じゃ生き残りを探すのも難しいぜ。ってなんだ？ジロジロ見てんじゃねえ。遠慮のねえやつだな。
からくりと言ってな。私が研究している技術で作った。体の中に人の魂を封じてある。中身は立派な人間ということだ。
そういうことでよろしく頼むぜ。
しかし、横浜以前のことは本当に何も覚えていないのか？そうか。軍師供養に横浜。状況からして、それは十中八九10年前の大曲時の戦だろう。10年前、世界中に鬼があふれ、人の世は半ば壊滅状態となった。我々は大曲時と呼んでいる。その際に北から押し寄せる鬼を迎え撃った最初の戦いが横浜防衛戦だ。つまりお前は10年の時間を飛び越えてここに来てしまったことになる。
仮にそれが本当だとして、何だってそんなことが起こったんだ？
鬼門に飲み込まれた者は時の迷子となって別の時間に流される。そういう話を昔聞いたことがある。お前が飲み込まれた空の穴はおそらく鬼の開いた鬼門だろう。鬼には時間の垣根がなく、過去、現在、未来を行き来するという。
Mm-hmm. This is another thing about them. They have a lot of time muckery.
奴らが移動の際に開く鬼門はあらゆる時間に通じている可能性がある。わずかだがな、ここでは方向者と呼ばれているらしい。
話がキテレツすぎてついてけねえや。
似たような話は以前からある。かつて大陸の方で数百人の兵士が一度に失踪するという事件があった。夕げを焚く火を残したまま、兵士たちは忽然と姿を消していた。どこを探しても兵士は見つからず、人々は神隠しだと噂し合った。それから10年後、近くの村の広場に突如一人の青年が倒れているのが見つかった。調べると、彼は消えた兵士の一人で、10年前と全く同じ姿格好をしていた。解放され目覚めた彼は真っ先にこう言ったそうだ。自分の夕げはどこだと。
そりゃ浦島太郎もびっくりだ。
Mm-hmm.
はるか昔からこの世界には人知の及ばない何かが潜んでいるのさ。その何かと秘密裏に戦うのが我々モノノフだったが、その体はどうした？
なんだ、どうなってる？
これは私を見ろ。お前はここにいる。他のどこにもいない。私がそれを知っている。私を信じろ。私がここにいるように、お前もここにいると信じろ。
どうなってんだ？おい博士、何か知ってるなら説明しろ。
私にもわからんことくらいあるさ。
I just like this excuse, that a lot of the geniuses in like these anime style type games have. You have Shinra from Final Fantasy X who goes, "I'm just a kid," and then she I don't know everything.
だが、こいつは本来ここにいないはずの人間だ。この世界にとっては異物。 それを弾こうとする力が働くのかもしれん。
なんだそりゃ。また別の時間に流されるってのか。
かもな。それは時間を超えた代償、呪いだ。そのままではどうなるかわからん。かといって元の時代に戻るのは不可能に近い。お前が所属していた隊もおそらく現存していない。横浜で戦った者の符は全滅した。生き残った者はほとんどいない。それでも過去との接点を求め、失った記憶を探すならそれもいいだろう。だが過去ではなく未来。ここで私の助手として働く気はないか。お前はいつどこに流されるかわからない。だがこの世界との関わりを深めれば、あるいはそれを止められるかもしれん。取引だ。私はお前の呪いを解くのに手を貸そう。その代わりお前は私の研究に協力しろ。お前が何者かは問わない。お前の意志がお前の全てだ。私の助手をしながらこの世界で生きてみろ。いい返事だ。
やめとけ。骨の髄までしゃぶられるぞ。
じゃあこいつが消えるまで放置するか。
誰もそうは言ってね
決まりだな。今日からお前は私の助手だ。助手1号は時継だ。仲良くしてやれ。
誰が1号だ。たくどうなっても知らねえぞ。こいつは人をこき使う天才だ。好き勝手されねえように気をつけろよ。
さっき目覚めた空き家を覚えてるか。あれをお前にやる。自宅として好きに使え。明日から忙しくなる。今日はそこでゆっくり休め。いいな。ようこそ我がからくり研究所に。
Alright. Well, I'm missing a
記
bit.
憶をなくしたか。我が使い手よ。哀れな。それがお前の背負った宿命か。
So yes, Mitama can still talk to you.
ならせめて私が記憶しよう。お前がこの先どう生きるか。願わくば今度は忘れるな。私は源義経。お前が身に宿す英雄の一人。鬼打つ者のふと共に歩む者なり。
おい、消えてねえだろうな。
邪魔するぞ。
無事みてえだな。よく眠れたか。
早速だが今日から働いてもらう。お前の体を考えるとあまり悠長にしてられん。まずは里の正式なものの符になれ。呪いを解くには人と交わってこの世界との結びつきを持つことが必要だ。
意味不明だな。とにかく里のお偉いさんに会いに行くぞ。普通はお頭に挨拶するが、この里のお頭は2年前に死んで以来空席だ。代わりに神垣の巫女が里を仕切ってる。つってもまだガキだ。実権は2人の討伐隊長が握ってる。近衛部隊と侍部隊、対立してる2つの討伐隊の隊長だ。ちょうどこれから謁見式だ。神垣の巫女のいる岩宿に行くぜ。
人混みは好かん。ここから先は時継と2人で行動しろ。私は鬼の手で後から合流する。
後から合流
まあ見ていろ。ああ、それと岩宿に行く前に時継に里を案内してもらえ。これから物の符になるんだ。使う施設ぐらい知っておけ。特に御霊の扱い方は念入りに聞いておけ。記憶がない以上一からやり直しだ。じゃあしっかりな。
相変わらずの俺様野郎だな。ま、そういうわけだ。 里の探検と行こうぜ。
Alright, now we can stop. Sorry about that. See you guys in the next video. We'll be going into this for real. Bye bye.